Hello, good evening. Once again I am writing to you about another paranormal experience that happened to me on the road. This has been one of the strangest and most confusing, since no matter how much I think about it, I have not found any logic in it. Approximately a month ago I was heading to the company to the one I work for provides cargo transportation services to several companies, and currently operates a route of around 1,000 kilometers. However, due to work stoppage, the companies were not in operation. On that occasion, my route did not need to be covered for 2 weeks. So I was assigned to provide support to other colleagues who have a route with high demand. We saw a convoy of 3 trailers. Since the 6 boxes we were transporting were a connection that came from a border city, maybe in 3 trailers, and arrived at the truck terminal. From there we were going to take them to the capital of the country. Everything was going well. Completely normal. We were relaxing on the radio like any other truck driver crossing the interstate. It occurred to us to stop at a restaurant on the highway in the middle, you can say, out of nowhere. Very good food for those who work on the road. And in some restaurants they even have bedrooms and showers or parking for trailers. Before, those restaurants were lit with diesel lamps. Even the tables had that type of lamps. We arrived, we had dinner together, and stayed for a while to rest. It became a bit night. We decided to leave the place and everyone got into their truck. Everyone started off except me, since outside the restaurant there was a person struggling with his car. He got on it and tried to start it without success. The electrical load went down and the engine did not start, and he gave the spark plug wires small blows, believing that this would make the engine work, and of course it still did not start. In the face of it was evident that the man was desperate to get his vehicle started, so I approached him and asked him if I could help him. He thanked me, and between the two of us, we checked the truck. At first glance, that person looked physically normal. He looked appearance well dressed, but the car did seem to be quite old. Shortly after I was checking the truck and had no results, my radio started playing. It was a colleague asking what had happened to me, because they couldn't see me behind them. I told them that I was helping a person with his truck, and he told me that it was strange that we didn't see anyone outside the restaurant, but hey, we are waiting for you here to join us. He told me. I finished the call, and the person who was helping asked me to please take it to the next city. And honestly, it didn't give me a bad feeling. First, because I had boxes with packages and sometimes high-value things come, so I didn't think it was a trap to jump. Secondly, I didn't feel uncomfortable or bad with the presence of that person. But if I felt a somewhat heavy vibe, and it wasn't because I was going with a stranger, I decided to leave. And I told the person who could no longer help him that I was in a bit of a hurry, that I had to leave, but before I could finish, the person got on the running board and continued insisting. I got off. My decision did not change. I just told him that I would leave. He got off the running board, and I started to turn on the engine of my unit, and in the rearview mirror I saw that he came running after me. I thought for a moment that he was going to hang from the back of the truck, but no. I started driving the truck and that person kept running behind. I started to increase the speed of the truck gradually, and the person kept running behind me. I began to get scared. A scream began to sound as the speed increased to 40 kilometers per hour. At 60 kilometers per hour, the person continued running after me. My fear increased, because it is humanly impossible to run at this speed. I climbed. The speed was 80 kilometers per hour, and I was able to lose sight of him. I could no longer hear the scream. Scared, I contacted my colleagues by radio to let them know that I had already joined the convoy, but I did not tell them what had happened to me. Once again, we were just joking, but I didn't forget what had just happened. Around 1 in the morning, we arrived in the city. In a truck parking lot, my companion stayed to sleep there. But I didn't want to stay. It has already happened to me in that place that doesn't let me sleep. Between the drug sellers, who come to offer you everything, and the prostitutes knocking loudly on the cabin door so that you wake up, and I didn't want anyone to bother me. I went to the shores of the road to look for a hotel that I frequented when I was in those places. I was driving and I could hear a lot of interference on the radio. What caught my attention the most was that within the interference I could hear screams, but they weren't normal screams. They sounded somewhat strange. I didn't want to listen to them so as not to get suggestive, and it was better to turn off the radio. Radius, meters ahead, I swear, and it's something that I couldn't explain. There was a person walking in the middle of the road. Just like that, and I was flashing my lights to get him to move away, but he didn't move. And being a little further near, that person activated the bugle and he did not retreat either. I was traveling at a normal speed, neither too fast nor too slow. When he suddenly turned around, it was the person who was fighting with the car. The one who followed me in the same place he was in. That restaurant, now in the middle of the road and about to run over it. This person smiled at me, a very ugly smile and with a shine in his eyes. Just like the shine of cats. With the light it turned a very dark color, like if it was a very black shadow. And suddenly it went down the road. As if it had been drenched or leaked from below the road. When I was about to get there, in order not to run over it, I suddenly turned the steering wheel. I was going to go off the road hitting something. Nothing happened to me, but the truck's bumper fell off. In fact, at the company after this incident, they gave me a good warning because I walked away from the convoy. I never told my boss anything about it. What happened to me for fear of being made fun of? I only told them that I fell asleep. I hope you liked this story, and on another occasion I will tell you another one. I send my regards.